Good stuff, good stuff. Okay. Alright, looks like my YouTube end is online. And it looks like my Twitch end's also online. Alright. Yay, we're live! Welcome everyone. Buenos días. Okay. So today is Spanish class, and, well, I'm very bad at Spanish. And that's kind of why I'm holding this class. It's because I want to learn, and I hope that everyone who comes also wants to learn. The nice thing about this being online is, and in a video format, is that when people watch this, they can just skip to whichever part they wish to watch. I do need to go back, find time to, I do need to go back and just add timestamps to everything. I'll do that with my Japanese lesson as well. But, for now, it is what it is. It will get better, I promise. And hopefully things go well. So, I do want to add some pictures here as very quickly. I'm gonna add a new group. Let's call this my Spanish class folders or materials. Right, and in here, I'm gonna add image. Let's add, this image will be, and the two things I'm adding today, or the images anyways. Boom. Okay, you should see that right there. Yes. Add that to the chalkboard. So this is a picture of the textbook that I'm going to be using for this class that I'm holding today. This is the textbook, and I got this when I took Spanish in my first year. So I do have some basic knowledge in Spanish, but obviously without using it, I've lost it. I'm out of practice. I've lost everything I've learned. Well, mostly everything. And I figured if I want to use any reference material at all to help with today, aside from Google Translate, along with other translation sites that would help in Spanish, I think having the actual material on me and using it would be my best bet. Not only that, because of the way Spanish is, or because of the way I'm going to be holding this with Spanish, I also have a second textbook that is more heavily focused on the verbal stuff. So I think I'm going to draw from that textbook more than this one, which is more of a practical overview. So let me pull up the second image here. Let's see. I'm gonna have to rename these later, that's fine. Here we go. That's the other textbook I'm using for today's class. Okay. Shrink this a little bit. Move this over. Wonderful, wonderful. And I have my handy dandy notebook here. So, we can start off with, let's have a little good morning, shall we? If my lead pencil. Oh, right, wrong lead pencil. Where did I put the other one? On my lap. Like so. Buenos días. That's a good morning, I want to say. My vocabulary is next to non-existent, so yes, más vocabulario. So that is good morning. and I'm probably gonna just take on these little vocabulary phrases for our material for today. It's great. Vocabulary is fantastic to have. Let's see. Let's add a little underline here. Get that. I believe the correct thing to say here would be muy bien, gracias. I kept flipping through my notebook here, not notebook, textbook, and couldn't find what I was looking for, so scoured my memory to answer that. I believe it is etu. Yoshien sensei yami. Just reading your name and realizing what it actually means. I think one of my favorite phrases to use in any language class is the "how do you say" phrase. And in Spanish, is it here? From memory, I believe it's "como se dice." How do you say? On "como se dice" door, and I use that a lot in my Spanish class back in high school, actually. But it is actually something I used in my Spanish and French class, and I messed up the two pretty frequently, and my French teacher got quite the laugh out of it. Alright, so I think based on what I'm looking at my textbook right now, the first thing I want to do is go through the limited amount of actually not limited, the actual Spanish alphabet here, and it is not that much different from the English alphabet, but there are some exceptions, and I think it's best to go through it. Muy bien, que bueno, estoy bien también. I forgot to say me too. I mean, you technically said me too, except in a more convoluted way. I think I'm not sure. Let me translate this. I know exactly what you're saying. I know exactly, because también does mean as well. And if you want to say I'm fine as well, or too, I'm also fine, or me as well, you say estoy bien también, or anyone who's more fluent in Spanish can easily correct me at any point in time, even in the comments, and I'll definitely have them in the next class if it's like part of the comments or anything. But yeah, so I'm glad you're feeling great as well for today's class. I definitely need to prep myself more, I think, at least to get an idea of what we're doing. But for what we're doing for today, it's going to be both a time thing and a chapter thing. Ideally, I get through the first chapter today, but if that takes too long, as evident by my Japanese class stream, which took almost like 3 hours to do the alphabet, I'm hoping to go a little faster than that for today's Spanish class. I have a fair bit of material to work with, though, so we'll see. So we'll go through the basic examples they give me here in this textbook, which is actually pretty nice. I want to see, does this lamp kill the print on the stream? It does not. I like having my lamp on. And you know what? What else I also like on stream is a little bit of music. I don't know about everyone else out there. I know it's like not really used in any classroom setting for the most part, as it's always like textbook. But I find having a little bit of music, soy bien, pero estoy aburrido. Ah, okay. Buena suerte. Muchas gracias. I'm gonna try. So I'm gonna have something here. Something. I did classical music before, and I do enjoy classical music when I'm trying to learn. There's something about the piano and an orchestra that I find very relaxing and calming. How about how about some Mozart for today? Your grammar is very off. I think that's okay. Today's the first class. I want to get through a couple things, and then we'll eventually get there. Everyone starts somewhere. I mean, I've had plenty of years learning languages, right? And I know nothing at this point. So this is a great refresher, a great reminder. Perhaps something will click in my head, perhaps something won't. I'm gonna add this to the YouTube description. Yeah. Music. Okay. So we're gonna have some Mozart in the background for now. For this stream, if we get there, what I really want to do is play some very simple Spanish music. Something that I remember played a lot in my Spanish class back in high school was just tons of different Spanish songs. Just to having you listen to people speak Spanish is really good for your your understanding, and helps you get a sense of how words should sound. And then we just had a lot of fun with simple songs like Feliz Navidad. That's a mix of English and Spanish. So stuff like that. I don't know if I'll be allowed to play those kind of songs on stream, but I can pull up lyrics, have them on the screen, and we can go through them together. Pachelbel is awesome for studying too. Pachelbel. Pachelbel. I see. I don't see any. I'll probably think about it, because I know Canon in D major is probably the most well-known Pachelbel piece. So we can do Pachelbel as well. Lovely pronunciation. Thank. Welcome, Hui Hui. All right. My pronunciation is going to be really, I guess, unique because it's my own lexicon. Oi, nani sore? Alright, okay, I'm gonna turn off this my video player here of the stream. It's a little too far behind. Alright, so we can go through, like, it's gonna be a review of both English and Spanish here, but, so we have, it's basically just a copy, but we'll have the letra. So this is the letter that we're working with. So let's start with A, B, C, C, H, D, E, F, G, and I'm going through this in English first because, well, it's assumed that this is a English speaking as a first language, and we're learning Spanish off of that. but hopefully everyone can understand it perfectly fine regardless. J, K, L, double L, M, N, the other N. This is more of a NG, right? My notes in katakana. I can do vowels, like a, for those who. Oh, I just realized this is really small. I can maybe zoom this in a little more actually. I don't know how much further this app lets me zoom my camera in actually, but that looks pretty good. Okay. So, gosh, when the camera unfocuses, it looks like a ko. Looks like the kanji for ko. That's okay. I just hope the camera doesn't keep unfocusing all the time. Be very slow in my actions. This really reminds me of working with an overhead projector. I'm not sure if people even know what that is these days, if they still use those. Old technology, but it's wonderful technology. Should I keep them this small? You know what? I think for the sake of clarity, it'd be best for me to actually have them bigger in terms of font size, as well as spaced out more. After all, this is my own class and I have all the space in the world to work with, so... is that better to see? A? Yeah. I think I like size like this. And then we can do B. Maybe 1.5. For like, the A is kind of easy to write and small, so it's fine. But for B, maybe take it as 1.5, like that. I think that's a little bit easier to see. The C, pretty easy to see, and then we'll have the C, H, like so. I think I like this. D. I think I want to work in sets of 5s. That might it's arbitrary, but it might be easiest that way to work with. So we have our letras, A to D, and then we can. It says here nombre in the textbook, and in brackets S. Is this for examples? Is it names, nouns? Essentially, the idea for this is to how you would pronounce this letter in English, and it's and the pronunciation of that specific letter is as close as possible. Buenos días, naranja gato. My vocabulary is really bad right now. Forgive me if I'm mistaken. I forget. Is are adjectives before nouns in Spanish? We'll get there. We'll get there. Hopefully. Anyways, buenos días, Zenon. ¿Cómo estás? Right. So or a, it's still. It's pronounced a. I think it means orange cat, but I think I misspelled cat. Right, yeah. I get the meaning. Don't worry. I think I'll try to translate that whenever I can. Ejemplos. So this is example. So we have a for how you would pronounce this, using like, yeah, actually, just it's interesting. I'm not exactly sure how they want us to pronounce the nombre section. I just pieced together some Spanish words I know. Don't worry, Zenon. As you can probably tell from my pronunciation, I'm not great with Spanish either. And I think that's, for me, that's kind of the point of these class streams. Hui might have a much better understanding of Spanish. So, one part of the reason why I'm doing these is a way for me to get a better understanding of the language myself, and take it seriously. If I'm spending a lot of my time streaming, I thought, why not learn and stream at the same time, right? So that's kind of what I'm trying to do here today. Me gusta bañar con gusanos. Me gustas. I have a few issues with the way you spelt that out, by the way, but we'll get there when we get there. Alright. So, the example given is the Spanish word adios. Adios. The thing is that part of our language is actually Spanish, English, Malaysian, and nice. That's one of the beauties of languages, actually. How close or not close at all languages are. So we have as in adios. I think you kind of hear this a lot in Hollywood movies. I'm not sure if that's the case anymore, but back when I actually watched movies, I would hear adios from the actors quite a bit when they're saying goodbye to each other. Adios. So that's Nah, bro, it's lazy Spanish. Allow it, mate. Oh, is it now? Okay, that's fair. I'm perfectly okay with like stuff like that, by the way. So, because what I'm learning is like textbook, but once you get out into the real world, obviously it's going to be different, right? You're going to have a lot of different slangs and things that aren't taught through a textbook. So, I'll trust you in a lot of things. Wait, don't worry. So be, like be, the English word be. We have two examples from this textbook. And bien and problema. Two B's. Bien and problema. So b, it's the English B sound as well, the plosive B. It's a very simple to remember sound. So with C, it's actually pretty much the same with English C. We have the two examples because we have cosa. So when you say cosa, that's the hard K sounding C. Yeah, like 30 to 40% slang these days. I'm not surprised. Learning language through my classes in linguistics, we quickly learn, even our second year material, a lot of everything is just the evolution of language. Humans tend to strive towards simplicity, especially still in languages. One of the funniest things I learned was that the strangest things in a language, word-wise, are there because it's used the most. So the irregular stuff, they're irregular and they're kept like that because they're used so frequently, it's assumed that you just know it. But the more formulaic stuff are generally less used words. So that's something that might seem like a no-brainer, but when you put but it's just not thought about. It's like grammar of your native language. Not thought about, but it becomes a no-brainer once you think about it. And then there's the other way of pronouncing this, cerro. So we have the K, cosa, like the English word cat, and then we have cerro with the S sounding, the soft fricative, the S sound. Does English start with any soft ending? Seek. It's just hard C at the very beginning, right? The hard K sound for English words. Cat. Can. Could. I think in English it's only the hard K at the beginning. But we have cerro. For anyone who watched Bleach, the anime, that is the holo attack, cerro. I believe it's the same spelling. So, a little fun fact there. Okay, right. Since we're using examples, we might as well also learn what they mean, right? So, cosa means thing, object, or matter. So, a thing. Cerro, zero. And then we have the CH sound, which is pretty much like the English CH sound as well, by the way. CH. And I'm using, for the numbers, I'm basically copying directly from the textbook. So a lot of this material I'm not going to understand as well. But with Huihui here, I'm sure we'll get through just fine. Right, so CHE. And the example given is Chico. Oh, that's super small. That's a no-go. Chico. Without using a translator, I believe this just means boy. And then if you want to say girl, you say chica. So we'll get to the differentiating suffixes that exist in Spanish. But for now, I'm going to say chico. Something that I learned through linguistics that I don't agree with, that makes me no longer agree with my language textbooks, or language learning textbooks, specifically Spanish and French, is that in high school and like university, sometimes they'll call these masculine or feminine words, and that gives people a misunderstanding that means that this word is of a gender, which is incorrect. It's simply a class, a way to classify words. Class 1, Class 2, Class 3 is no way to look at it. And to be fair about the language itself, it comes from the fact that it's a very, very, very old classification system back in the day where it was just normal to classify things using gender. But not every male word refers to, or masculine word refers to a male or a male type of figure, and same thing for female. And in certain languages like German, they even have neutral, and neutral doesn't always refer to an inanimate object. So that's something to get out of the way first and foremost. It was surprising to me when I had people in my class in university, of all places, have trouble understanding this, where they just thought, oh, it's a masculine verb. That means that word is referring to some sort of male of any kind, which in a lot of cases, yes, but not always. That's not how this works. It's simply a classification system, which is why something I like that got brought up in my linguistics class is the idea of just, instead of saying masculine and feminine, class 1, class 2, class 3. When you number it that way, it's easier for you to understand, especially in today's society and in our social norms, that this is talking more about a way to classify things. And then for D, we have DE. Is this big enough? I feel like this is slightly too small. The font size is like maybe too small or so. I want DE, like so. And this is like D as in diario. Is that too small? It's a little small. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. Diario or nada. Diario, if I had to guess what that means, is diary. So let's check if I'm right or wrong. Diario. It means diary. It's very similar in spelling and pronunciation to diary, the English word diary. So that's why I guessed that for diario. I mean, honestly, diario. Diary plus an O at the end. Right? And then nada. None. No. Nada should just mean none, right? Nothing? None, nothing. So we have diario, nada. So that's the first 5 in this little alphabet chart. So let's move on to the next 5. I'm doing 5 at a time, by the way, because I find 5 to be a rather easy to digest amount at any one point in time. Once we do 5, your brain kind of like sets it aside as one group, and it, at least for me, it makes it a lot easier to remember and understand. So we did A, B, C, H, and D. Adios, bien, problema, cosa, focus, camera, hello, camera, there we go. Cosa, oh, I just realized the size a little faint. Let's fix that. Cosa, cero, chico, diario. No, don't roll my R's. Rolled R's mean something in Spanish, so diario and nada. Okay, let's go on to our next letter. E. F. G. H. And I. So I'm going to kind of keep in line with the line paper, but not always. For this stream in particular, in the way I've set up my camera, it's not the best. Obviously, a blank piece of paper would probably work better with the way I'm doing this, but the issue with blank pieces of paper is that technically they're more expensive than a notebook for some reason, so I'm just using the notebook, so please bear with that. So E, it's just an E. And how would you pronounce this? Well, using our example, it is estudiante. It's like this. So I'm underlining it here because there's actually 2 E's in this word. At the beginning, estudiante. Well, they're the same pronunciation actually. Estudiante. Listen to it. Estudiante. Te. Like estudiante. I'm not gonna fuse them like that, but the E sound here is just Estudiante. So that's nice. F. So learning exactly what we just used for our E symbol or E character here. Why do I keep doing this? Everything just shrinks. The more I write, the smaller my print becomes. It's no good. So we can assume, based off this, because of estudiante, F. F. And we're taking the F sound from F. Estudiante. Estudiante. Is that a word? I don't know that word if it is. Hante. Huh. Weird. Google Translate does very weird things with that word. I just want to let you know that much. Flipping it back and forth. Alright. So, F. Example. Photo. And as you can... Oh, you know what I also forgot? I was going to explain what everything meant, but estudiante is just student. So, today we are all students. Hoy, so I think that's the Spanish word for today. Hoy. Todas somos. Todas somos is we're all. Todas somos estudiante. We are all students. Todas somos estudiantes. Obviously, you want to use the right conjugation for it. And then F, photo. I mean, it's practically pronounced the same way in English. Photo. 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 I don't think there's much explanation needed. You read it, you get what you read. I want a photo. Photo. My pronunciation may be a little weird and different, so please excuse that, because I can hear it myself too when I say photo versus photo. That's just simply how I pronounce things when I go from language to language. English, I think I'm a bit more relaxed on stresses, whereas in other languages I try to actually stress a bit more. I think it's a bad habit. It's a habit I picked up learning languages. So G. I don't like following the nombre section, by the way. I don't know if I want to keep this, to be perfectly honest, but it's in the textbook. It has to hold a meaning somewhere. So I've used examples of the G character already, as in gracias. Ja, like ja, or the J for jeans or jam, or ja rule. In Spanish, the J is actually pronounced as an H. So, like, I think the easiest example is when you see in English we have Jesus, right? In Spanish, you'd say Jesus. Jesus, not Jesus. Right, so our first one for G is gracias. So it's like G for this one. I think they're all right, like that. G. And then we have the name. So capital G. I don't have space, so I'm gonna steal some space from above. Gerardo. So I stole some space from above. Gerardo. This is the person's name, I think, probably. Gerardo. G. Like, this is gracias, G, and then we have Gerardo. Is it Gerardo or Gerardo? Now that's a question that I don't have an answer to. Google Translate. How do you pronounce Gerardo?
Gerardo.
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 Geraldo. Really? Geraldo. It's an H sound. How about gracias? Is it gracias?
Gracias.
It is just gracias. But for Geraldo is an H.
Gerardo.
An H sound. I don't know if you guys can hear my Google Translate here.
Gerardo.
Let us pause Mozart for a second here.
Gerardo.
Geraldo.
Gerardo.
Geraldo. So it's actually an H sound, not a G sound. I had forgotten about that. And then our other G is in the middle of a word. Regular. So we take this into the translator.
Regular. Regular.
Regular. So this is also the G sound. Gracias, regular. In two ways, names are weird. Maybe. Gerardo. And then we have the English.
Gerardo.
Gerardo. This is why I think names between languages are so funny. Gerardo.
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 Gerardo. I could have, honestly, Google Translate is something. It's like a game in itself with the way you can go between languages and the way they pronounce words and names. It's great. Absolutely fantastic. All right. So gracias, thank you. Gerardo, Gerardo, a name. Regular. Spelling is practically the same. It is identical to the English regular. Regular. That's how you pronounce that. So H. Right. So this is using letters from previously. So A from adios. Ch from chico. And then E from estudiante. Hache would be my assumed pronunciation, obviously. And the example given is hola. Now, notice how I said hola and not hola. I think everyone who knows, who's heard of this word has heard it without the H. Hola. Is this ache or hache?
H.
Ache. So I pronounced that wrong, but my assumption was hache, and that where is get to tell us if we're saying it right. All right, reel myself back in. Right, so I thought, with the English letter H, we have hat, house, hold, hit, heed, all these different H starting words. But in Spanish, H at the beginning of a word. I don't even know if it's just beginning. Maybe it's everywhere in a word. Did we have an example anywhere else previously? I can't really see any other examples at the moment. So perhaps wait, when he joins back, can explain, but or provide an example of this. But for now, this is just the H at the beginning of a word is simply silent. So ache, hola, the H is not pronounced. And then we have I, the letter I. Nothing special, nothing unique. The I is just an I. And the example is, and hola is just hello. Hola. And the example given for I is igual Igualmente. Igualmente. This, I can't even begin to guess what this means. It means equally. Igualmente. Based off the arrangement of the letters and the way you pronounce it, I would not guess equally. In fact, I would think this is probably, in my mind, closer to the word iguana in English than equally in English. But I think mente is the suffix for the ly suffix in English. I think they're an equivalent. I'm not sure. But once we get into more vocabulary, perhaps you'll find that pattern.
Igualmente.
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 Igualmente. So the I, similar to Japanese in pronunciation, it's an E sound. So remember when we took our Japanese class on Thursday, we had a, e for the letter I, and then the E was e. Pretty much the same here, actually. I think the Japanese and the Spanish share that kind of way of pronouncing the vowels, actually, now that, if I remember correctly from my classes. Okay, so that is our next 5 set of letters. We have E, F, G, H, I, as in estudiante for E, foto for F, gracias for G, gerado for G, and regular for G. Then we have hola for H. There are 2 pie slices we got. Waiter, yes, the 2 pie slices we got are not sliced iguana. That is absolutely what I was thinking of. And then for I, it's igualmente. Igualmente for I. It is the E sound. For English speakers, it might seem a little weird at times, since we for the letter E, we say E, but for Spanish, it's the letter I that says E. Okay, so our next 5 letters, if I can fit it, if I can't, we'll see how many letters we can fit here, and we'll work out that. Maybe 4 letters? We have the J, the K, the L, and then the double L. Yeah, we'll fit 4. It's fine. So this might seem a little weird, especially for English speakers, since we do not have the double L in the same sense as the Spanish double L. So for J, might be a little funny for English speakers as well, because the J is pronounced as the English letter H. So this is actually hota. And an example of that is, as I said earlier, Jesus in English would be Jesus in Spanish. And here it's also a name that we're given. Javier. Javier. And let's have Google Translate tell us the same thing.
Javier.
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 Compared to the English.
Javier. Javier.
Run that by me again.
Javier. Javier.
Since when did English pronounce this as Javier? Maybe forever. I don't remember that. They've definitely updated Google Translate. It used to say something much different. That's okay. Now they have it correct. So that's fine. That pronunciation though.
Javier. 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 Javier.
There we go. Both English and Spanish sounds exactly the same. And then we have our K sound, or K letter. So we have ka and ka. K-A-C-A. And that's to show that they both sound like k. The k are a fun little plosive in the back of the mouth. It's funny, that's actually there as well.
Xavier.
Javier.
Xavier.
That's actually there as well. It is less frequent than Javier. But it is there in Google Translate as well. It is an option. Okay, so for this, our example given is kilometro. Kilometro. And hopefully everyone already knows what kilometro means. Not something, not a measurement, not a unit of measurement used often in the States, but used probably very frequently where I'm at in most of the world. There are still places in the world that uses miles, but kilometros, metros,
Kilómetros.
kilometros.
Kilometers.
In English, kilometers.
Kilómetros. Kilómetros. Kilómetros.
Kilometros. Kilometers.
Kilómetro. Kilómetro.
Kilometro. Kilometer.
Kilometer.
You know, what's really funny is that in my head, I remember I have classmates that pronounce kilometer as kilometer. I just thought it was pretty funny. As for why, it's because that's kind of taking two different words and then lumping it together and keeping the pronunciation the same as if you're saying two different words. Instead of saying kilometer, you're saying kilometer. A kilometer, not a kilometer. It's understandable, but it sounds weird for a native English speaker. L, our next letter, L. Let's move this up a bit more so that it's easier to see. And here in E-L-E, doesn't really scream out what that says, but this should. Lapis. A lapis.
Lápiz.
Lapis. This is Spanish for pencil. This is a mechanical pencil, but pencil nonetheless. Lapis.
Lápiz.
Pencil.
Lápiz. Lápiz.
Lapis. Alright. And then probably one of my favorite consonant. The double L's. I'm not sure how that helps anyone. Alright. So what does this sound like? I believe double L is the J sound? The English J sound, I want to say?
Llave.
Llave. Right.
Llave.
Llave. This means key. Like the key to my door. The key to success. Llave.
Llave.
Key. Apparently, it can also mean spanner, faucet, lock, brace, piston valve. Really? Google Translate, that's interesting. Those are much less used words, but interesting nonetheless. Alright, let's quickly go over these 4, and then we can go over everything before moving on to the next page, as we can continue with the other letters. So we did J, K, L, and double L. So E, as in igualmente. J, as in Javier. K, as in kilometro. L, as in lápiz. And the double L as in llave. Right, now let's go over from the top. And this is a key thing about learning a language: repetition. Always constantly repeating yourself over and over again and getting the sound in your head. So let's grab Google Translate to pronounce for us, since the machine pronunciation is going to be a lot better than mine.
Adiós.
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 Adiós. So we can use that at the end of the stream today. Adiós.
Adiós.
Say that for later. Then we have bien.
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 Bien. Or even problema.
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 Problema. So that B sound.
Problema.
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 Problema. I have a problem. Soy una problema. I believe that's how you say I have a problem. Soy una problema.
Soy una problema.
No, that's I am a problem. Estoy, I believe, is I have a problem.
Estoy una problema.
I am a problem. How do you say I have a problem then? What's the verb to have? I have a problem. Tengo. Aha. I kept saying I am instead of I have.
Tengo un problema.
Tengo un problema. And it's un. So problema is a masculine verb. Unless this is wrong. Is problem? It's problema feminine? Problema. Mm-hmm. Tengo una problema. Spanish dictionary. I'm gonna need your help here. It's a masculine noun. Yeah, that's what I thought. When the translation gave me un instead of una, it's yeah. Okay, so all this problema talk just made an actual problem. I mean, it's less of a problem. It's more of a me not understanding, but it's fine. That's what a class is for. When there's an issue, you solve the issue as best as you can, and then we learn from it. Problema and has the a suffix, but it is a masculine verb. So it is class 1 verb or class 2. Which is interesting, since, as we know, words like chico, for example, means boy. That is also a masculine word. Whereas chica, which takes the same suffix as problema, is a feminine word. So that's why it's class 1, class 2. The classes are like pretty interesting nonetheless, but alright, let's go on to the next words. We got through adios, bien, problema. Now we have cosa.
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 Cosa. Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa.
Cosa. This is really fun to do, by the way. Cerro.
Cero.
Cero.
Cero. Cero. Cero. Cero. Cero. Cero. Cero. Cero. Cero.
Cero.
Cero.
Cero.
Cero.
Cero.
Cero.
Cero.
Cero.
Cero. Okay. That means 0. Once again. Chico.
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 I remember my Spanish teacher would always say chicos.
Chicos.
If I'm not mistaken, if we say they, okay, it's ellos. Chicos. Chicos.
Chicos.
Chicos.
Chico.
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 Boy. Chico means boy. Diario.
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 Diary. Nada.
Nada.
Dora the Explorer as a kid to not need Spanish classes. Man, I've forgotten a lot of the Spanish from that show, but no, seriously, that was a very fun show. It's very simplistic in idea, but it was engaging a lot. I think the least engaging part of that show was when it was trying to engage with the audience. So it kept asking, it's like, the audience to do something. I found that to be the least engaging part of that show. I loved the rest, though.
Nada.
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 Nada. Nothing. Estudiante.
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 Oh, you know what? I see some examples here too for the definition of a definition of estudiante. Persona que cursa estudios en un centro docente. Estudiantes de medicina. Alright, I said a lot of words there. Not sure if people caught what they mean. But it's nice to see these in sentences. Can you tell me where the bakery is? Yeah. Although a lot of the songs in that show was great. Right, so estudiante, student. Foto.
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 In Google Translate's definition of photo, it gives us the noun fotografia. Fotografia.
Fotografía.
Fotografia.
Fotografía.
Fotografia.
Fotografía.
Fotografia. So, here's something interesting about fotografia. If we add it to the end. Grafia. Okay, it's somewhat visible. So what I wanted to note here was that this I has the accent on it, and that's why when you pronounce it, or when you hear the translator pronounce it, the machine pronunciation pronounce it, they say fotografia instead of fotografia.
Fotografía.
Fotografia.
Fotografía.
Fotografia. It's not fotografia, but fotografia.
Fotografía.
There is a stress on the I pronunciation here. Not like diario. Diario. you know the I's there because we're pronouncing it, but it's quickly moved on. It's not stressed. Whereas fotografia,
Fotografia.
fotografia,
Fotografia.
you can hear that the I is iya. There is a extra half syllable there, or half another beat there for the pronunciation of the I. If you were to pronounce diario with that same stress, it would be diario, diario, diario. It's a lot hard to pronounce on top because it's not normal. But like, let's grab this character.
Diario. Diario.
You can hear it.
Diario.
There's that, and then there's
Diario, diario. Diario, diario.
like you can even hear the machine pronunciation. You can hear the different stresses.
Diario, diario.
Diario, diario,
Diario, diario.
diario, diario. It's dia versus diario, diario.
Diario, diario. Diario, diario.
I think the easiest way to separate the two is we're doing diario, so we're stressing the vowel diario, and then when we're not stressing the vowel diario, it's not dia, it's diario versus diario, diario. There's a stress on the I when you have the accent, but there is no stress on that I when there's no accent. So it kind of it's like one set. You can think of it that way. It's like one set when you have for diario, when you have for like the dia, it's diario, whereas diario, we can hear that again.
Diario, diario.
Diario, 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 diario. So when you have the accent on both eyes, diario. When you have no accent, diario. So that accent there plays a big part in pronouncing the different letters, the vowels specifically, because that keeps the stress there. Next, so that was fotografia, not fotografia, fotografia. And then we have gracias, gracias,
Gracias.
gracias,
Gracias.
gracias,
Gracias.
gracias,
Gracias.
gracias,
Gracias.
gracias,
Gracias.
gracias, gracias,
Gracias.
gracias. Okay, that means thank you. Yes, everyone's favorite name.
Gerardo.
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 Gerardo. And then we have the English.
Gerardo.
Gerardo. I don't know what's about that pronunciation, but it's funny to me every time I hear it.
Gerardo.
Gerardo. I think it's the way the machine pronounces it.
Gerardo.
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 Gerardo. Gerardo.
Gerardo.
Gerardo.
Gerardo.
Gerardo.
Gerardo.
Gerardo. I'm just curious. What happens if we would use an H for this instead of a G?
Gerardo. Gerardo.
Gerardo. Gerardo. So yeah, without pronouncing it, of course. Gerardo. Right. And then regular.
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 Regular. And then there's the English.
Regular.
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 Regular. So, biggest difference, the GU makes a gula, makes a gu sound instead of the
Regular.
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 Regular versus
Regular.
regular. So in Spanish, the GU is, it's think of it more like gu, so GOO, instead of U, like the English regular, it's regular, regular,
Regular.
regular. Right. And then we can move on to H. Hola,
Hola.
hola, hello,
Hello.
hello,
Hola.
hola,
Hola.
hola,
Hola.
hola,
Hola.
hola,
Hola.
hola,
Hola.
hola. That's fun. Alright, igualmente, equally.
Igualmente.
Igualmente,
Igualmente.
igualmente,
Igualmente.
igualmente,
Equally.
equally.
Igualmente.
Igualmente,
Igualmente.
igualmente,
Igualmente.
igualmente. And our favorite J name. Let's move this up. Javier,
Javier.
Javier,
Javier.
Javier,
Javier.
Javier, and then the English pronunciation,
Javier.
Javier,
Javier.
Javier, Javier,
Javier.
Javier,
Javier.
Javier. What's interesting to note between the two pronunciation would be the way the A is pronounced. In the Spanish, it's Javier,
Javier.
Javier, and then the English, it's the
Javier.
Javier. It is a falling H or falling A vowel. Ha, ah. Is it falling? Ah. Ah, 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 ah. Ha. No, it's actually higher. If you try to pronounce Javier,
Javier.
Javier, the A is actually higher in the mouth, whereas
Javier.
Javier, it's actually lower down in your mouth. This A pronunciation is lower.
Javier.
Javier,
Javier.
Javier versus Javier, 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 Javier. Interesting, interesting. Kilometro,
Kilómetro.
kilometro,
Kilómetro.
kilometro, and just like before, there is an accent on the O. That means we keep the stress on the O syllable, on the O vowel. Compare that to without it,
Kilómetro.
kilometro, versus with it,
Kilómetro.
kilometro. The pronunciation, I don't know if it's that visible. Let me have them back to back.
Kilómetro. 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 Kilómetro.
Kilometro, kilometro. So when you put them side by side, the AI will automatically stress it. And it's, when you hear them back to back, it's very easy to tell because the stress is instantly there for you to compare them side by side.
Kilómetro. Kilómetro.
Kilometro, kilometro. Kilometro, kilometro. Obviously, we use kilometro.
Kilómetro.
Here's the thing about language, though. When we don't, when we pronounce things, we like to de-stress certain things to make it flow better. So even though it's kilometro, we're probably going to pronounce it as just kilometro. I mean, it just happens to flow better that way. Let's keep listening to this.
Kilómetro.
Kilometro,
Kilómetro.
kilometro,
Kilómetro.
kilometro,
Kilómetro.
kilometro. And then with having it without the accent, so it's supposed to be unstressed, I believe due to its placement in the word itself, it will still get stressed more than unstressed. Instead of like kilometro, we say kilometro. it's still going to be a slightly stressed because of its position, and that has to do with placement of the vowels or the letters themselves in the word. That's more of a linguistics feature than a language. Specific. That's more technically, the technical terms are more used in linguistics than the actual language itself. Going into the technical detail holds no meaning most of the time for the average speaker. We can just say it's just kilometro. You just need to know how it's pronounced. Lápiz.
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 Lápiz. And then we can compare it as well, because as again there is an accent on the A, so this is a direct comparison between the two.
Lápiz, lápiz.
Lápiz, lápiz.
Lápiz, lápiz.
Lápiz, lápiz.
Lápiz, lápiz. Lápiz.
Lápiz. So I don't think I have to go through the spiel again. We've gone through it several times now, so we can just keep listening to the word now. Lápiz.
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 Pencil.
Pencil. Lápiz means pencil.
Lápiz.
Lápiz. Okay, so let's go to our last word that we have here on this page. Llave.
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 Llave. Right, and this means
Key.
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 Key. Llave
Llave.
is a key. Nice. Alright. So, at this point, I actually have to use the washroom for a quick second. So in the meantime, everyone who is watching can also either take a break or continue pronouncing or practicing the pronunciations for our letters we have looked at so far. So give me 1 minute. Alright, and I'm back. Class is back in session, in case people went to take a break. Or, I hope everyone else has been practicing the pronunciation. Gerardo. Geraldo. Oops.
Geraldo.
Gerardo.
Geraldo.
Geraldo. Interesting. So this is taking the Spanish G for instead of Geraldo, it's Gerardo. But at the R there,
Gerardo.
Gerardo.
Gerardo. Interesting. Very interesting. Alright. So that's our first page of stuff. we can move on to our next page of stuff. So once again, I like to have my things titled a little bit. Our letra. Nombre. Ejemplos. Oh, now that I think about it, I didn't actually put these through the translator either, so I think this is a good chance to, like, ejemplos, for example. Ejemplos.
Ejemplos.
Ejemplos just means examples. This is the plural because we're using the S at the end. Without the S, ejemplo.
Ejemplo.
It just means example.
Example.
Ejemplos.
Ejemplos.
Ejemplos. Okay, so our next letter to work with is the letter M. N. O. A little close. I think that's fine. P. Alright, let's do M first. And M. I think. The example given, mapa. And I think everyone can guess an English word that is really close to what mapa, to the Spanish word mapa. And if you can't, well, try to take off the A. What English word is that when you take off the A? Mapa.
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 And in case you haven't guessed it yet, for whatever reason, maybe English is not your first language, or maybe you just don't know the words for some reason.
Map.
Map. Mapa.
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 That is the M sound. Pretty much identical to English M, so shouldn't be any confusion there, hopefully. This is a long word. I like this. Alright. Enne. And our example for enne. Do I have space if I write it like this? I do not. Move it more to the left. Na. Nacionalidad. Nacionalidad. It's a little faint. Alright, so that's how I pronounced it just now, as you heard me pronounce it. Nacionalidad. 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 So how would you pronounce this?
Nacionalidad.
Nacionalidad. Nacionalidad. Something, it's pretty close, pretty close. Nacionalidad. It's more together, quicker.
Nacionalidad.
Nacionalidad. Nacionalidad. Nacionalidad.
Nacionalidad.
Nacionalidad. And I hope it's pretty easy to guess what this word means. Nationality.
Nationality.
Nacionalidad.
Nacionalidad. Shion.
Nacionalidad.
It's not Shion because it's not an SH. It's not shh, but s. It's a single S, not SH.
Nacionalidad.
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 Nacionalidad. I suppose if you have a lisp, then you can pronounce it nacionalidad, but it is nacionalidad.
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 Nacionalidad. So, the idea here is you use, so N is a nasal character, meaning that you pronounce the N using your nasal cavity, so your nose. The airflow in your mouth, or through your vocal tract, it goes up from your voice box to your nose, to your nose area, and you pronounce. And so that is what nasals are. So it goes from a nasal to the vowels sion, but at the O vowel, it is going back into a nasal, and then we use nacionalidad. So it's not nacionalidad. Nacionalidad is nacionalidad. The O gets nasalized at the end of it because it's being followed by a nasal character. But the O itself is not nasalized. Nacionalidad. At least when I pronounce it. So perhaps my pronunciation of it is off, but for me, it's much easier to say nacionalidad, where I have a slight nasal at the end of my O pronunciation, which is hard to hear because I pronounce it so quickly. Nacionalidad. So for the quick-eared people out there, I say nacionalidad, so I have like an on sound at the end of my nacionalidad, which is kind of weird, but it is the easiest way for my mouth to pronounce this word. And then we have this one, the other N in Spanish, ñe, with the example, mañana. So this is a fun character because it does not exist in English. I would think, looking at this, mañana. That's what I would think. But how you actually pronounce this is mañana. And this just means morning. Morning.
Mañana.
Mañana. So, let's see. You could say, I'm not gonna go too much into this word, but
Mañana.
mañana. So something to note is that this isn't just an N, it's a there is a it's like an NG, but not quite. Mañana. It is a much more nasally N than the normal N. Mañana. So you can hear it in the word itself, ñana. It's not nana, it's not manana, it's mañana. The A the whole time is the same A sound, but the character before that will determine how it sounds. And it's nice because we have 3 nasal characters in this word. Mañana, the from the M sound. We also have the N in our alphabet, but thinking about it now, we rarely use it now. It is not a commonly used character, that's for sure. But it exists, and it's still used quite a bit. But yeah, it's probably going to start falling off. It's not the easiest thing to pronounce in the world.
Mañana.
Mañana.
Morning.
Mañana. That's funny. It's funny. What's also funny is that in morning, we also have that sound. The ng and ing. They're I believe in the IPA they're considered the same sound. The ng in morning or any ing word, ingna. It's just you're not gonna have the hard g that you have in ing like ing. It's mañana. It's still there. It's an ng type sound, but because there's a vowel after it, the hard g is difficult to hear, or non-existent, actually. O. So this, sure, same spelling as the English word once, but in Spanish, I believe this is pronounced once. Once. And unlike the English word which is once, once is actually the Spanish word for 11.
11.
Once.
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 Once. Right. And do notice how it's taking the C, but it's pronounced se and not ke. So this is a soft C sound. So using the S sound, essentially. Moving on to our P letter, we have profesor. Profesor. Honestly, what's nice about spelling like these is that it's about the way you pronounce it. Profesor. Instead of English, where you double up on certain letters. Profesor.
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 Professor.
Professor. In professor, you have two S's. But in profesor,
Profesor.
professor, it's one S. Alright, so let's quickly go back and see and review these 5 letters. M, N, N, O, P. My favorite singer, B11. Nice. Very nice. And now we have our examples. Mapa. Nacionalidad. That's a mouthful. That is a mouthful. Nacionalidad. Nacionalidad. Mañana. Mañana. Once. Profesor. Alright. Nice. So let's move on to our next 5 characters. We have Q, R, S, T, U. So let's do those 5 next. And actually, that's actually perfect, because after U, there's only 5 more characters. That's wonderful. Wonderful. So, Q, C, U, Q, U, E, E with an accent. Underscore, underline that, underline this. ¿Qué tal? I was asked that earlier today by Yoshi and Sensei Yami on Twitch. ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué? So, que. Where is, I need the other que. I need... Where is it? There it is. Que.
K.
Que.
K.
Que. And not to be confused with the other one.
K. K.
Alright, I don't know what I just said.
K.
Que. So take this. We have this.
K.
Que versus what we wrote.
K.
Que.
K.
This is que.
K.
Que.
K.
Que.
K.
Que.
K. K.
Que.
K.
Que.
K.
And then we have this.
K.
Que.
K.
Que.
K.
Que.
K.
That is wrong, and the difference is extremely minute. I just want to point out. I'm going to add this here because of how minute this is. So, for those who don't know, these are two different words. These are two different words. Que,
K.
que,
K.
que,
K.
que. This means what? The question. ¿Qué tal? Means how are you? Que by itself means what? And then we have que,
K.
que,
K.
que.
K.
I keep using the hard K, but it doesn't seem to be the it seems to be the voiced version of the of this particular plosive. Instead of que, it's ge,
K.
ge.
K.
And this is more used for the word than or that. I think it's also used as it's more used for is it more used? La casa que nos yeah, it's more used in a non-question. It's not the question word. It is what I want to differentiate here. So que, and que,
K.
que, and then the accented
K.
k. The accented one is for questions, whereas the unaccented one is not. It's not the question version of the word. And as before, the main difference is the stress, where you put the stress in the word. So the pronunciation difference is difficult, especially for an AI to pick up. But I think that's the biggest thing to take away from that. And then for R, it looks like we're reusing an old example and adding a second example. So we have regular. Hopefully you don't have to go through what this means. Regular. And then we have a new word. It uses the nasal, the NG nasal. And the one in the book is senora. Senora. That is in English it can mean Mrs., Miss. I think it can mean Miss. Am I wrong in thinking it can mean Miss? It could be. I think it's supposed to be. Yeah, it's like Miss, Madam, Lady, Madame. So this is Senora. Señora.
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 Señora. So yes, I don't know how clear it is, but it's not Sonora. It's not a regular N.
Senora.
Sonora, that's wrong. It's
Señora.
Senora. So it's there's a bit of a more the N is not just N, it's Senora. Okay. S. And here we use the other example. Señor.
Señor.
Señor, which just means sir. I guess in older context, it can also mean lord, master. Señor, it can mean gentleman. Among other things too. You can see, but it's like Mr., Sir. Usually, what this is used for. Señor.
Señor.
Señor. Remember, it's that and not senor.
Senor.
Senor. No. Señor.
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 Señor. Okay. I think that's easy enough to understand. So let's move on to the T sound. Te. And this is example given. Tu. You. I don't want this two. I want the other two. Give me the other. There we go.
Tú.
Tu.
Tú.
Tu. Now you might be thinking,
Tú. Tú. Tú.
what about the other two? This also exists, actually.
Tú.
Two. Same. It's actually the same pronunciation. This is a more written thing than it is a pronunciation thing.
Tú.
Tu. Versus tu.
Tú.
Tu. Tu. This is the pronoun tu, the one with the accent. You use that for pronouns. And then the one without the accent. Am I wrong? I might be wrong. So, I'm probably wrong, so completely scratch what I just said. Just know that these two exists. And they mean similar things. I think identical things? Not identical, they're similar. They both exist. Is what I want to say. They both exist. Alright, ooh. Ooh. Usted. Usted. Usted.
Usted.
Usted.
Usted.
Usted.
Usted.
Guess what? This also means you. Except it's a different you. Usted is, I know what usted is oh right, is usted, is that you formal? Yeah, I think usted is you formal. You use usted for those older than you, more experienced than you. It is a formal thing, I believe, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong.
Usted.
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 Usted. Right. Now that's the next 5 So let's go back and check it out. Q, Q, que, as in que tal, que. R as in regular. Señora, la señora. S as in señor. T as in two. And U, usted. Right, so something I want to cover, I'll cover it at the end maybe, but I want to cover it probably on the side. So let's move this to the side. And why? It's because I want space, and it's the double R's. I actually don't see it here in the alphabet, but it's something that should be covered actually. The letter combination RR produces a strong trilled sound which does not have an English equivalent. English speakers commonly make this sound while imitating the sound of a motor. This sound occurs with the RR between vowels and the R at the beginning of the word. Puertorriqueño. Terrible. Roberto. Right. So let's that's like an aside, and not in the actual chart that I'm looking at, which makes no sense to me. But terrible. I can't do it now. See, that's my issue. When I've ever tried to do the hard trill R sound, I can't do it. I can't. Let's see if I can do it using regular senora. Almost. But when I'm trying to do it in its proper context, I can't for some reason. Right, well, anyways, here's some example words. Let's write it out. We have terrible. Terrible. Puertorriqueño. Puertorriqueño. I honestly apologize for how I'm pronouncing this. I just can't. You'll hear it a lot when I pronounce other words, and funnily enough, I trill a lot of my R's in Japanese. When I pronounce Japanese characters, when speaking Japanese, I'll oftentimes trill them unconsciously. It just happens. Going back to my other notebook that I have here very conveniently. Rari, ru, re, ro. As you can hear, ru, re, I'm trilling my R's. But when I try to do Puertorriqueño, you can hear my R just fell flat. It didn't trill at all. I'm not doing that consciously. I swear. I promise you. I'm not doing that consciously. It just so happens that when I pronounce characters like those, like ri, like ra, ri, ru, re, ro, I can trill certain ones whereas in a word like Puertorriqueño, I can't. Or terrible, that's a little bit better, but it's not there yet. But yeah, I can't. It's weird for me in particular. Puertorriqueño. And for any English speakers, this word, puertorriqueño. Puertorriqueño. It is Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Puerto Rican.
Puertorriqueño.
Puertorriqueño. And then we have a name. I think this is probably a very famous name, or a very well-known name to a lot of people who will listen to pop music, especially specifically, I think Lady Gaga. Roberto. Roberto.
Roberto.
Roberto.
Roberto.
Roberto. And you kind of trill the R there. It's not as hard, but you kind of do for this one over here. It's a single, over there. It's a single R, but it's Roberto. You kind of trill that second R.
Roberto. Roberto.
Am I mistaken?
Roberto.
I am mistaken. It's not that one. It's this one. Roberto. It is the first R that gets trilled, according to Google Translate. Alright. As you can hear,
Roberto.
Roberto, it is getting trilled at the beginning.
Roberto.
It's Roberto. The R gets trilled, which is that little motory sound, like the R. It's just basically the R gets repeatedly pronounced in your mouth a lot in the span of like a millisecond. It's probably the easiest way to describe it. Whereas the English pronunciation, Robert. Whereas Roberto. It's trilled. It's probably very easy to tell, but explaining it properly is a little more difficult. So that's something I wanted to cover before I continue, because this is important. There was what am I thinking of here? Alright. I don't know what exactly the example I was thinking of previously, but it is important to know that... Oh, wait. Okay. So here's an easy one that people can get confused, or people who don't speak Spanish can get confused by, and that is the difference between the word but, as in the conjunction but. I like to sing, but my voice is terrible. As an example of how I use in English. In Spanish, here I can write it down. So we have English word but, and in Spanish it's pero. It is a single R. However, perro, the trilled R, this means dog. This means dog. So we have perro, 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 and then we have perro, perro. I was actually trilling my R for but. There's perro, which is but, or perro, 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 perro. Oh, that's a little better. Perro, 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 perro. which means dog. So here is a very easy example of the difference between not trilling your R, or trilling your R can mean two vastly different things. One's a conjunction word, and one is an animal. A dog. Alright, so let us add, because this was used earlier.
Naranja gato.
Orange cat.
Naranja gato.
So yeah, you weren't wrong when you said naranja gato for orange cat, but the spelling is slightly different. So let's use this space over here. Let's create a little space, and let's make sure I have the right. Okay.
Gato naranja.
Gato naranja. So that's why I was thinking earlier too. The adjective to describe the noun comes after the noun and not before it, if this is not mistaken. Orange cat. Gato naranja. So let us add a text source. And you can see that there, it's at this source, and we will change this color from white to a random orange. Like so. Let's increase the font size a little bit here. Okay. It's a little hard to see. Just a little bit. Let's put that on the chalkboard, shall we? Yeah, I like that. I like that on the chalkboard. Gato naranja. Orange cat. Alright. Let's go back to the rest of the alphabet, since we're almost done here. V, W, X, Y, and Z. And this is super duper messy. Extremely messy printing. But that's okay because it's legible. Who cares if it's messy, as long as you can read it, right? You can have the nicest print in the world, but if it's not legible, then who cares? Right. So, V, as in vista, or nuevo. So I believe this is the same V pronunciation as English. So like vista,
Vista.
vista,
Vista.
vista,
Vista.
vista,
Vista.
vista,
Vista.
vista. Like, you know, the Windows from Windows Vista, that Vista. Except this means view. I think it's just for this is the noun view.
View.
Not the verb to view something, but the view. The view from this balcony is amazing.
Vista.
Vista,
Vista.
vista, view. Nuevo,
Nuevo.
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 nuevo. Okay. Right.
Nuevo.
Nuevo. And I'm probably pronouncing that weirdly. Nuevo. I can't exactly mimic the bot here.
Nuevo.
Nuevo. Nuevo.
Nuevo.
Nuevo.
Nuevo.
Nuevo.
Nuevo.
Nuevo. Right. That means, in case you couldn't... Oh, I didn't even show this on screen. How embarrassing. Nuevo. N-U-E-V-O. In case you can't really tell what that means. And it's in English that means new. So it is an adjective. Boy, I'm almost done my coffee here. And we've been going at this for 2 hours now. I want to get some more things done. How do I keep taking so long to do everything? I'm only on the alphabet here. How? Man, I gotta learn how to be a teacher. W. W. Oh, that's what nombre means. W. Walk, man. Now, I literally just pronounce this as is in English. How do you pronounce this in Spanish? Walk, man.
Walkman.
Walkman. Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman.
Do people even remember these things? Because, this is from my parents' era. do people still know about Walkmans? For the uninitiated, for those who are young, a Walkman is the predecessor of the iPod. It's basically what you use to listen to music back in the day. It played cassette tapes, I believe. But yeah, the Walkman. Who still remembers the Walkman? I'm surprised they used this as an example. Walkman. Walkman. Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman. Man. Have I ever used it? No. Do I own one? No. Do my parents own one? Yes. Do my parents use it? No. It's old. It is old. A Walkman is very old.
Walkman.
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 Walkman. All right. Let's go on to the X. And here's his X. Existir. Mexico. Alright, I don't know if that's actually existir, but I do believe this is Mexico. Okay. So Google translates. How do we pronounce existir?
Existir.
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 Existir. Existir.
Existir.
Existir. So X is that funny character that is actually like the KS sound combined. Existir. Existir. Existir.
Existir.
And then we have the other example.
México.
Mexico. So existir Mexico.
México.
Mexico.
México.
Mexico. So two vastly different ways of pronouncing the same character in the X character. Okay. I didn't even show it, did I? Mexico. So in English we say Mexico. In Spanish we say Mexico. Existir Mexico. So the Y Y so this is like the nombre, how you pronounce that kind of deal. Joe.
Yo.
Joe. So the Y is a J sound, the English J sound. Okay.
Yo. Yo.
Joe.
Yo.
Joe. Like this, the Y-O, Joe.
Yo.
Joe.
Yo.
Joe.
Yo.
Joe.
Yo.
Joe.
Yo.
Joe.
Yo.
Joe. And that, by the way, means
Me.
me. Or the pronoun I. Okay. So we finally move on to the final letter, Z. Zeta or Zeta. Zona. So put this in the camera. Zona.
Zona.
Sona.
Zona.
Sona.
Zona.
Sona.
Zona.
Sona.
Zona.
Sona.
Zona.
Sona. Means zone. Pretty simple to figure out, I think. Zone, the area, a region, district. Zona. Okay, so we got through the alphabets that is in my chart. Let us read through this part starting from Mappa all the way down to Zona. We'll read through it once more to drill that in. Then we'll go back, go through the entire thing again once more after that. It's very repetitive, but that's good. This is to drill in words into your head and get you to remember them. So for M, Mappa. Mappa. And let's hear the Google Translator one more time.
Mapa.
Mappa.
Mapa.
Mappa. For N, we have nacionalidad.
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 Nacionalidad. Alright. The other N with the accent on it. Mañana.
Mañana.
Mañana. Mañana.
Mañana.
Mañana. Mañana.
Mañana.
Mañana. Morning. Next one. Not once. Not once. Once.
Once.
Once.
Once.
Once.
Once.
Once.
Once.
Once.
Once.
Remember, it's not once like the English pronunciation of this character combination. It's once.
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 Once. And it means 11. Okay. All right. After that, we have profesor.
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 Profesor. Ah, yes, everyone's favorite. Que.
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 Not to be confused with.
Que.
Yeah.
Que.
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 Que. And then our R's, regular R's.
Regular.
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 Regular. And
Señora.
senora.
Señora.
Senora. I like this word more than regular, just because we use this N, the accented N here. Something that we used previously, whereas this one, although it's similar, it's a little bit. Oh, I just like the usage of this N. Maybe I'm a little bit biased in that regards. Okay. And then we can move on to the double R.
Terrible.
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 Terrible. Pretty much the same spelling as the English word terrible,
Terrible.
as it is what it is.
Terrible.
Terrible. Roberto.
Roberto.
Roberto. And then finally we have Puerto Riqueño.
Puertorriqueño.
Puertorriqueño. Remember, we're focusing on the double R here. Puertorriqueño.
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 Puertorriqueño. And just an example I threw in, we have pero,
Pero.
but, versus perro,
Perro.
perro, the dog, perro. Alright, so we can go back to S. We use señor for this.
Señor.
Señor, not señor. Señor,
Señor.
señor,
Señor.
señor,
Señor.
señor,
Señor.
señor, which is Mr. Two,
Tú.
two,
Tú.
two.
Tú.
And to remember, these two, as far as I'm aware, are pronounced the same way. The accent is there specifically in writing. So T, two, two. For U,
Usted.
usted, usted, usted,
Usted.
usted. For V, we have
Vista.
vista,
Vista.
vista,
Vista.
vista. It's spelled as, Windows Vista. It's the Spanish noun for view or the sight. So the view from my balcony was amazing. That is a way of saying it's not the verb view. We also have, as an example, nuevo,
Nuevo.
nuevo,
Nuevo.
nuevo,
Nuevo.
nuevo,
Nuevo.
nuevo means new. It's an adjective, new. With W, the Walkman.
Walkman.
Walkman. I'm pretty sure this is just a borrowed word from English, by the way. Okay. So then we have the funny character X.
Existir.
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 Existir. And as well as
México.
Mexico. Remember, it's not the English Mexico, it's the Spanish
México.
Mexico.
Mexico.
Mexico. But
México.
Mexico.
México.
Mexico. Y, which is pronounced Jo. It's the J sound in Spanish.
Yo.
Jo,
Yo.
Jo,
Yo.
Jo,
Yo.
Jo,
Yo.
Jo,
Yo.
Jo.
Yo.
Yeah. That means I. And then finally our Z.
Zona.
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 Sona, sorry. Sona, not Zona. It is not a hard Z sound, but a soft S sound.
Zona.
Sona. Alright. So let's quickly go over all the examples once. We don't need to do it repeatedly like I just did, just once. So we have adios, or adios, I mean.
Adiós.
Bien,
Bien.
problema,
Problema.
cosa,
Cosa.
cero.
Cero.
I didn't. Right, I'm gonna do it like this. Adios, bien, problema, cosa, cero, chico. Next up, diario,
Diario.
diario. as well as nada,
Nada.
nada. Estudiante,
Estudiante.
foto,
Foto.
or fotografía,
Fotografía.
fotografía. So we have photo, which is a photo, fotografía, photography. Then we have gracias.
Gracias.
This one's a really funny one. Gerardo,
Gerardo.
Gerardo. Oh, what's going on? It's a Pokemon battle. Okay, so that was really random. And I think everything's okay, hopefully. Wait, how's my battery? Ooh, it's pretty high. It's pretty low. Okay. This should work. So it's a little bent. Focus. 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 Focus into me. Okay. I'm just going through my replay to figure out how the stream held up from that. Hopefully it held up just fine. Okay, yeah, seems to be just fine. A little shaky on the camera there, but it doesn't seem like anything too horrible. Hopefully. I think maybe I'm gonna want to like Bluetooth my phone next time so that when I do get a call like that, I can just answer through my Bluetooth instead. Yeah, I think that's probably the best thing I can do next time. That way I don't have to like move my camera, because moving my camera looks to be a bit annoying. For sure, that looks very annoying. So apologies about that. Work on that next time. Okay, so back to where we were with Gerardo.
Gerardo.
And we've already went to regular. Let's do it one more time. Regular. And again, without practicing, I've already started pronouncing it the incorrect way. It's regular. Regular. Not regular. Not regular. So yeah, this is why I keep practicing, going back, practicing. It's great. It's great practice. Having one repeatedly say the word. Wonderful practice. Hola. Again, hello. Igualmente.
Igualmente.
Igualmente. Javier.
Javier.
Javier. Kilometro.
Kilómetro.
Kilometro. Lápiz.
Lápiz.
Lápiz. It's, again, I'm pronouncing it like it's English, lapis. But no, it's not lapis, it's lápiz. So it's a soft S for the Z. And llave.
Llave.
Llave. Key means key. Quickly go here one more time. We have mapa.
Mapa.
Nacionalidad.
Nacionalidad.
Mañana.
Mañana.
11.
11.
Profesor.
Profesor.
Que.
¿Qué?
Or, you know, the other que.
¿Qué?
Seems to be the difference between que and que, which is interesting by the AI here. I'm not really sure what's too different here. We can skip over regular since we did already. Senora.
Señora.
Senora. Señor.
Señor.
Tú.
Tú.
Have I been skipping? Yeah. Mapa, nacionalidad, mañana, 11, profesor, que, regular, señora, señor, tú, usted,
Usted.
usted, vista,
Vista.
means view, nuevo,
Nuevo.
new, Walkman,
Walkman.
Walkman, existir,
Existir.
it's a verb to exist, Mexico,
México.
Joe,
Yo.
don't see Joe, there's Joe, it's Y-O, it's the letter Y, not the letter J, remember that, in Spanish, the Y is pronounced as the English J, so Joe, and finally, Sona,
Zona.
Sona,
Zona.
Sona, it just means zone, an area of some sort of region. And we're finally done the alphabet. 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours for the alphabet. Who would have thought? Who would have thought I would go through the English alphabet in Spanish with some Spanish characters to take 2.5 hours. But here we are. So here's a nice little practice where we will spell out words in Spanish, because as we learned from the alphabet just now, certain letters are pronounced a very certain specific way in Spanish. So the Spanish word nada, so nothing, and I'm probably going to start writing a very small print now. I apologize. Don't want to do that actually. Let's make this a little bigger. So lowercase, take up 2 lines. Capitals can, so that's easy to tell. So nada, N as in nada, A as in adios, D as in diario, and A as in adios. Nada, N
N.
N. Oh, okay. That's why the nombre was there. That's how you would pronounce them as a single character. N. A.
A.
D as in de.
D.
De. A.
A.
A. Okay, so I did skip over the nombres because I didn't really understand it at the time. I'm getting it now. Like N is N.
N.
N. Alright, we can use this time to learn that now. Whether or not it was meant for that Probably not. This is how I'm doing it though. Maleta. Here's a new word. Maleta. Maleta.
Maleta.
Maleta. This means suitcase. It's a noun. Suitcase. Let's say it one more time. Maleta.
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 Maleta. Right. So let's spell it out. So M.
M.
M. A.
A.
A. L.
L.
L. E.
E.
E. T.
T.
T. T. And then A.
A.
A. M. A. L. E. T. A. Maleta. Wonderful. Number 3. I guess we can also try counting in Spanish too, even though I haven't run through it yet. So we have uno, dos. This is tres. So uno.
Uno.
Yes, just like the game Uno. Dos.
Dos.
So 2. Tres.
Tres.
That's 3. Tres. Número 3. 15. Quince. Número 3. 15.
Quince.
This is number 15. Quince. 15. So how do we pronounce this?
Q.
Q. First letter is Q, is the Q letter. Q. In Spanish, you say Q.
U.
U.
I.
E. N.
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 C.
Se. The C is se. And just
E.
e. Excuse me. Good evening. Here to listen with an open mind because I know nothing about Spanish. Welcome, Gambler Bear. I'm glad you could make it. I spent about 2.5 hours on the alphabet, and now we're moving on to pronouncing words through each letter. So we're pronouncing letters specifically now. Didn't do that before because I didn't really understand how each letter was pronounced, but that was my fault. But now we're getting to learn. So, quince. This whole word is pronounced quince.
Quince.
But then when you break them up, it's no longer pronounced quince. Each letter has its own pronunciation.
Q-I-N-C.
Cui and NSC. Now, that might sound really weird because it should. They're just letters.
Q.
Cool. The letter Q is pronounced cool. Cool. The U is ooh.
U.
Ooh.
U.
That letter I is pronounced E.
I.
E. The letter N.
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 N. That is N. C.
C.
Se. Se. It's like it's like an S sound with the letter E. Yeah, letter E. And then there's the letter E actually.
E.
E. The letter E is pronounced E. Very similar to my Japanese lesson. The Japanese and the Spanish share pronunciations in their vowels. The vowels are pronounced identical to each other, if my memory serves correctly. Quince. Ku. U. I. N. Se. E. Quince. And quince means 15. It's a number. Moving on to number 4. I believe Number 4 is cuatro. So number 4 in Spanish is cuatro. C-U-A-T-R-O in English. C-U-A-T. R is R. And O is O. So R is
R.
not English R, please. Switch this.
R.
R. Oh, it is rolled. The R is rolled. Listen to that again.
R.
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 R. So the single R in Spanish is rolled, interestingly enough. And then O is just
O.
O. Cuatro. And for number 4, muy. That is our word. Muy. As in muy bien. Muy. Very.
Muy.
Muy.
Very.
Very.
Muy.
Muy. And this is M. U. Why? How do you pronounce this? Tell me.
E. E.
E.
E.
E. Apparently in Spanish it's also Y.
Y.
Y. That is what's written here, as well as
E.
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 Nombre de la letra E. So the letter Y. Y-E, that's the name of it. And it's synonymous with Y.
Y.
Y. That's just the name of the letter Y in Spanish, interestingly enough. So that's muy.
Muy.
As in muy bien. Muy. M. U. E. Or Y. 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 And then we have number 5. Cinco. 5. Cinco is 5.
Cinco.
So C. I. N. C. O. Cinco. Number 5. We have hombre. Remember, in Spanish, the H at the beginning of the word, which is almost always only at the beginning of the word, I believe, and it is silent. Hombre, male. Or male. Man. Sorry. Man.
Hombre.
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 Hombre. So we have H. H.
H.
H.
H.
H. So the spelling of the name for H, it is H-A-C-H-E. H. And it's pronounced H, not Hache, H. The H at the beginning of the word is silent. There is the CH here, and that makes a ch sound, similar to English's CHs, like chosen one. Ch. It's a CH ch sound. So H is H. O is O.
O.
M. M.
M.
B.
B.
B. R. R.
R.
R. I.
E.
E. H. O. M. B. R. E. Hombre. Six. Says.
Seis.
Says.
Seis.
Says. So number 6 in Spanish is says. Esse for S. Esse. E. I. Esse. So remember, E is how we pronounce E in Spanish, whereas E is how we pronounce I in Spanish. So S-E-I-S is esse. E. I. Esse. For number 6, we have por favor. Por favor. Very simple. Please. That's all por favor means. Por favor. Please.
Por favor.
Por favor. Probably one of my favorite sayings. Por favor. So for P, it's pe.
P.
Pe. O is O. Pe. O. R. R. Por. P. O. R. And then favor. F is F.
F.
F. A.
A.
V is V.
V.
Uve. Uve. It's not V, it's uve.
V.
Uve. And then O is O.
O.
O. And then R for R. Favor.
Favor.
Favor. F. A. V. O. R. Favor. Por favor. P. O. R. F. A. V. Not V. V. O. R. Por favor. There. Gotta remember to put that in camera every time. Alright. Number 7. Siete, I believe. Yes. Siete.
Siete.
Siete. So it's S. S-E-E-T-E. So we've learned all of these already, but just a refresher.
T.
Te for the T. Right. I think this is a name of a person. San Fernando. Fernando is, I believe, is a name. I don't know, but is San Fernando a location? I don't actually know. San Fernando.
San Fernando.
San Fernando. So we have S A N F E R N A N D O.
D.
D and
O.
O. San Fernando. So as we start using more and more letters over and over and over again, hopefully we don't have to keep repeating the English and just start using only the Spanish. One more time. San Fernando. S A N F E R N A N D O. Number 8. Ocho. Ocho. O. Che. O. Remember, CH is pronounced as ch in Spanish. Che is considered they're called in English they're called digraphs. So they're two letters that but produce one sound. So in ocho, it's not se h o. It's not o se h o. No, that's not correct. It is ocho. O che o. Ocho. Number 8. Here we have Estados Unidos. I wonder if everyone can understand or know immediately what this is. Because it is pretty close to the English. Not really, no. Really not. It's really not. But basically, Estados Unidos. It is the United States. You can abbreviate this as EE.UU. So like how in English we use U.S. for US. In Spanish we use EE.UU for Estados Unidos, for the United States. And here's the spelling of it. S, T, A, D, O, S, U, N, I, D, O, S. Estados Unidos.
Estados Unidos. Estados Unidos.
Estados Unidos. Alright, let's add back some music in here. I kind of miss it at this point. Okay. Let's go to number 9 now. This is nueve. Nueve.
Nueve.
Nueve. Hopefully the music isn't too loud, actually. I don't want the music to overpower Google Translate. I know my voice, or for my microphone, should be a lot louder than everything else, but I don't know about the audio from like the music or anything.
Nueve.
Or even Google Translate for that matter.
Nueve.
Nueve. Not to be confused with nuevo,
Nuevo.
which means new. Nueve
Nueve.
means 9. So nuevo, N, U, E, uve, O. Nuevo. As we saw earlier here, nuevo, new, nueve, exact same spelling except for the last character. It is N, U, E, uve, E. Nueve. That is 9. So for number 9, we have Puerto Rico. That's pretty funny. Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico. So, before, in a different example here, we had Puerto Riqueño, Puerto Rican. And then we have the location now in Puerto Rico. P for P.
P.
P. U, E, R, T, O, R, I, C, O. Puerto Rico. All right, number 10. Días. Días. D, I, E, Zeta. Zeta. That's Z. Zeta.
Zeta.
Zeta. Días. Días.
Diez.
Días. Right, for 10 we have España. And notice how the N here has the accent. It's España, not España. España.
España.
España. S. No, not S. E. S. P. A. N. N. A. So I repeated the N here twice because I want to make sure that people understand. It is N.
Ñ.
And not
N.
N. There's N. And then there's N. This is N. Not N.
Ñ.
España. Alright. Number 11, and as we learned earlier, once. O-N-C-E. Once. It's spelt the same way as once in English. Javier. Javier.
Javier.
Javier. And in English,
Javier.
Javier. And the difference is, as explained earlier, the A sound, specifically Javier.
Javier.
Javier. The A is actually lower in the mouth when you pronounce it, whereas Javier, the A is higher in the mouth when you pronounce it in English.
Javier.
Javier versus Javier. So with pronouncing it, we have the J.
J.
Jota. So as we heard from Javier, the J sound, or the J letter, is pronounced with an H sound in Spanish.
J.
Jota. So Jota, A, V, I, E, R, Javier. Number 12. I believe this is doce.
Doce.
Doce. D, O, C, E. Doce. Ecuador.
Ecuador.
Ecuador. E, C, U, A, D, O, R. Ecuador. Number 13. I don't actually remember how you do this one. Trece. I should have known. Trece.
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 Trece. T, R, E, C, E. Trece. 13. Here we have Maite.
Maite. Maite.
Is this a place? Maite? Google, tell me, is this a place? It's a given name. Okay, I've never heard of this name used. So I've never in my life met a Maite. So we have M for M, M, A, I, T, E, Maite. Alright, number 14. Catorce. I always forget this one, even during when I took my lessons. Catorce.
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 Catorce. C, A, T, O, R, C, E. Catorce. 14. Gracias.
Gracias.
For G.
Que. Que.
He.
Que.
He. He. He as in Gerardo. Remember, Gerardo.
Gerardo.
Gerardo. So G as in
Que.
he. R, A, C, I, A, S. Gracias. And then number 15. Quince. Quince.
Quince.
Quince. 15. So it's Q, U, I, N, C, E. Quince. In English, it's Quince. I'm trying to slowly not use English, by the way, for the alphabet, and just pronounce it as it is in Spanish. Just try to get used to it in your head, how it's pronounced. Probably go through the entire alphabet one more time after this to get that down, because now that I'm slowly understanding how you should pronounce it, it's unfortunate that I skipped over that originally, but hopefully this practice really helps. Number 15, Nueva York. Is Nueva a new word? No, actually. We had it back here. Nuevo, nueva. Unlike nueve, which is number 9, nuevo and nueva are the same word. They just take a different suffix depending on what they're modifying. Because they are adjectives or modifying a noun, correct? Yes. Nueva York, as you can hopefully understand, means New York, the city. N, U, E, Uve, A. York, so the Y is
I.
E.
I.
E. O. R. And the K sound?
Ka.
Ka. Kya. So that is Nueva York.
Nueva York.
Nueva York.
Nueva York.
Nueva York. New York. And that's kind of the examples I have in this textbook. I can do a little bit more, and these are phrases here. So let's do phrases very quickly. I'll just write down number 16 so I can keep working on our numbers. DSC says. Now that's might be a mouthful for people who don't know how to say 16 in Spanish, but let's break it down into what it really is. DSC says 6. It's 10, 6. DSC says D, I, E, C, I, S, E, I, S. Now the second E, the second E has the accent on it. But
16.
it's still E. So here we can have the phrase ver es creer. Ver
Ver.
es veres
Veres.
creer.
Veres creer.
Veres creer. So uv e r and then space e s space c r e r. Veres creer. So let's see what each word means. Ver, see, es. This is the conjugated form of to be. So is. This is is. Creer, to believe. Creer, to believe. Ver is to see. Creer is to believe. They're the infinitive forms. And this is the phrase, as is in English, seeing is believing. Obviously, in English, we use the gerund, the ing forms of the verbs. Seeing is believing. In Spanish, we just use the infinitive for the phrase. And then our final phrase here, this is going to be a long one. Considering number 16 is DSC says, number 17, try to guess what it means first. Did you get it? It is 17.
17.
17. D, I, E, C, I, S, I, E, T, E. 17. 17. All right. And this is also another phrase. On boca cerrada no entran moscas.
En boca cerrada no entran moscas.
Right, I just butchered the potential word. En.
En boca cerrada no entran moscas.
And en, not on, not on. That is a different word in Spanish. En boca cerrada no entran moscas. So, with the version of the textbook that I currently am using, the Adelante Uno that you can see on the chalkboard, the phrase it's giving here is silence is golden. On Google Translate, it's saying loose lips sink ships. Neither of which translates back to English or Spanish properly, like neither English phrase. That's just probably due to how the Google Translate works. But en boca is about the lips, so it is an entire phrasal thing. So let's spell this out: E, N, B, O, C, A. I'm not even pointing out on camera yet. So E, N, B, O, C, A, C, E. This isn't in the alphabet, as like it's not considered a diagraph, by the way. This is more, that's why it's kind of separated out of the chart and had to do as an aside. So this is actually just R, R, A, D, A, N, O, E, N, T, R, A, N, M, O, S, C, A, S. En boca cerrada no entran moscas.
En boca cerrada no entran moscas.
So this can mean either silence is golden or loose lips sink ships. Depends. Silence is golden is the Adelante translation. Loose lips sink ships is the Google Translate translation. I'm just going to assume both is correct. Okay. So let's go back to the alphabet, actually, now that we know that each letter corresponds to a specific sound based on its nombre. So A is A, B is B, C is C, Ch is Che, D is D, E is E, F is F, G is
Que.
He. It says Ge here, like gracias, I'm assuming. So it can be He or Ge. So gracias or Gerardo. H is silent, H. Because it's silent, I guess they needed a way to like pronounce that for people to understand properly. So H, E or I is E. Not confusing at all, right? E, I is E, and E is E. I is E is E, I, E. J is hota, hota.
Jota.
K is ka or sa. Depends on where it is in the sentence. Or in the word, I mean. L is elle, elle. The double L is
Elle.
ella, because the double L in Spanish makes the English Y sound. Ella. Or the J sound actually, like
Llave.
llave.
Elle.
Ella. It's both. Ella, ella. And then we have the M, emme, N, enne, N, enye, O, P, pe, Q, Q, R, R, S, S, T, 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 U, the U, U. So it's not like English U, it's U, like two O's in English, like good. U. V in the textbook is V, but apparently it's also pronounced double, uve, like having the U right before the V. Uve. W.
W.
That is not right. That is, oh, that hurts my ears.
W.
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 It's, I'm just gonna follow my textbook for this one. I'm actually not gonna follow Google Translate for this one. W. X.
X.
X. E. X. E. Q. U. E. S. X. And remember, it can be pronounced actually a couple ways too. Existir. So let's type it out. Existir.
Existir.
Or Mexico. Mexico.
México.
The X can be pronounced as an H as well here. The Y.
E.
E. Like E. Or E. Griega. Griega.
Y.
That's just a synonym for the name of the letter Y. And then we have Z, or Z, depending on where you are in the world. Zeta.
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 Right. Got through all the letters in the alphabet and the way you pronounce them. That is wonderful. And we're currently 3 hours and 10 minutes into this stream. I think that's fine. We got through the alphabet, and being 3 hours in, I think that's a fair stream duration. We can start going through different vocabularies and stuff like nouns and articles and the classification, like masculine, feminine, neuters. I think Spanish only has masculine and feminine, not neuter words, but yeah, we can start doing that in our next lesson. So for today, I think that's going to be it. We just went through basically some small amount of vocabulary while going through all the vowels, or not vowels, all the letters in the alphabet here, which is good. Knowing how to pronounce letters in the language is very important. So, I don't know if I want this to be like homework for people, but spoilers for next Spanish class and Japanese class. So I'm going to be continuing doing episode 2 starting Thursday, maybe even Wednesday actually. It depends. It really depends. But starting when I come back after Tuesday, with more classes, there's going to be a review before we get back into the next lesson for the next class. And I think that's how I'm going to do it. And I might even host like a small little quiz before we start, get everyone refreshed on what we've learned, and then we can continue off from there. So for today's lesson, the biggest takeaway would be know how to pronounce each alphabet in Spanish. And yeah, that's probably the best thing we could do for today. And hope everyone remembers all the terminologies or vocabulary we've learned today. Like nada, nothing, maleta, suitcase, 15, 15, muy, very, hombre, man, por favor, please, San Fernando, Estados Unidos, the United States, Puerto Rico, España, Spain, Javier, Ecuador, Maite, gracias, thank you, Nueva York, New York, ver is creer, seeing is believing, en boca cerrada no entran moscas. That's a mouthful. Loose lips sink ships, or silence is golden. Depends on which translation you want to follow. As always, translation for adelante is silence is golden, en boca cerrada no entran moscas. Loose lips sink ships is the Google Translate version. So, that is all. And as always, those are the examples from before for each of the words. I won't go through them again. I'll do a mini quiz in our next class for this. With that being said, thank you very much for everyone for coming in today, dropping by, seeing how everything works here. I think today has been pretty fun. I can take this away now. Let's move this in here. Chalkboard's gone. Let's turn off that. And instead, let's head back over to main. And I am down here right now. Okay, that's fine. Why am I back to main? Easy. It's for my schedule here. So as you can see, today was Spanish class on Sunday the 5th. Tomorrow is Monday the 6th. Which means we're going back to gaming instead of lessons. It's going to be gaming. I'm thinking either Super Meat Boy or something new. Something else. I don't know if I want to move away from Super Meat Boy yet. It's a fun game, but definitely a game I have to feel like playing, to be perfectly honest. Not something I can just sit there playing for hours and hours without caring. Mainly because I'm kind of really addicted to games like Minecraft, Rainbow Six Siege, and recently I've been playing a lot of Mahjong Soul with friends, so I'm thinking of streaming that game too. But that's a bit more unplanned stream, so I might actually start doing some unplanned streams in the future. Depends on how the schedule looks with me and my friends. But yeah, so tonight, Rainbow Six Siege. It's going to be an 18 plus stream. I don't read that every single time, but as you can see from July 1st and July 2nd, it says 18 plus. It's just due to the fact of what kind of game Rainbow Six is. So yeah. Tonight's going to be Rainbow Six. Tomorrow's going to be a game, and then more Rainbow Six at night. And that will be it for this week, and I'll be making a new schedule for next week. In the meanwhile, to prep for our classes, even because they're currently... Hey, Gambler Bird, you play as well? That's great. Yeah, we can definitely set some times up. message me whenever you can. Even if I'm not streaming it, I mean, I've played like twice now with friends, and I didn't stream those. Just having fun, right? Yeah. So for preparations for our next language learning stream, so for Japanese and Spanish, ideally, please review the content that we've covered in our first stream for both languages. So for Japanese, we covered the alphabet, hiragana and katakana specifically, and only those two. And then for today's Spanish class, we went through the alphabet and some examples. Please remember some of that. I'll be quizzing everyone in the next stream. And for sure, I'm going to be doing a lot of review myself to make sure I'm prepared for that stream. And some prep work. I'm going to try to improve as best as I can. So until then, thank you everyone for showing up for today's class stream. And I'll see everyone tomorrow, or tonight. Technically tomorrow for me because it's midnight, right? So day takes over, but technically tonight for our next gaming stream. See you then. Thanks for showing up. Have a good day, have a good night, have a good time wherever you are. Bye bye.